Alright, so I haven't talked the Ben Simmons James Harden trade yet, and I was planning on doing a video for a while about it, and then, I was going to last night. I didn't because I'm lazy. And then the Harden Ben Simmons press conferences come out this morning, and I have a little bit more reason to now. So, here is my full breakdown of the Harden Ben Simmons trade. And it's about what you think it is. I think both teams win this trade. I think this is one of very few NBA trades where you can look at and say, yeah, both these teams came out as a better basketball team. I would say maybe the only question I have on this trade is maybe how the timelines match up with each team. So let's start with Philly. 1. You won the Ben Simmons saga. No matter what people were going to say about how it all went and how long it took to get Ben Simmons out of there, I was saying that Daryl Morey is an idiot for holding on to Ben Simmons this long because all his stock is doing is going down. And it didn't. I was wrong. As fans, we thought the best players that they could trade for was, at best, Bradley Beal and, realistically, Malcolm Brogdon. And they got James Harden. So they won. They won no matter what you think of the trade, they won. They changed Ben Simmons, who wasn't playing, into James Harden. And they gave up Seth Curry and Andre Drummond and 2 firsts. So now you're Philly and you can win a title. Like, I personally believe this is what brings them into that stratosphere. You now have James Harden and Joel Embiid, which NBA history will tell you, and Daryl Morey clearly knows this. You cannot win a title if you don't have 2 of the top 10 players in the league. You need a superstar and then some other version of that. Like, the NBA is not built on big threes. Big threes are not the NBA's formula, honestly. Big twos are. Big twos have been the formula for years, and big threes, they're finding their way in there every now and then, but we're finding out that that doesn't even work, which is a whole nother video and topic that I probably will make, honestly. If you're going to wonder how Embiid and Harden are going to play with each other, I understand that, because Embiid's not really a big pick-and-roll guy, but I don't think it's going to matter at all, because if Embiid and Simmons kind of worked and almost made a conference finals with Jimmy Butler, I think Harden and Embiid could work just fine. Both those players are 2 of the best offensive players we've ever seen in our lives. So, should work out pretty fine. This is how I look at it from Brooklyn's standpoint. I would have made this deal if Harden wasn't mad. Now, maybe not realistically, because, real life involves human emotions, and this is why Harden's out. It's hard to just say you would have traded James Harden for 3 clearly inferior players. But that's how much I like this trade. You're trading James Harden, which at this point in the Brooklyn Nets saga is a redundant talent. You have Kyrie, you have Kevin Durant. I know that would have been a magical thing to watch, and it probably would have worked because it was that good. But no matter what you think of how good they could have been, James Harden, Kyrie, or Kevin, whichever one of the 3, they were a redundant talent. Having 3 guys that can go iso ball on you isn't going to work. And we've clearly seen from all the press conferences today that James Harden didn't want to play this free motion offense. He wanted to play iso ball. Kevin Durant did not want to play iso ball. And we're finding out quickly that this is why you don't put those kind of 3 players together. Literally the NBA meme videos of Harden doing 30 dribbles on 2K and Kyrie doing the 30 dribbles and then Kevin, and they're just switching rotations like that. That's literally how this team fell apart. And so sometimes people think basketball is complicated, and sometimes it's literally not. It's literally not that complicated. It's very situational. In this case, it wasn't that complicated. Ben Simmons is literally a guy that I don't care how bad you think this man is or where his mental state is at. He's one of the best defensive players in the league. And he is known for shutting down a lot of guys who can get really hot. A lot of guards that are just cooking all night. And Ben Simmons can shut that guy down. They did not have that before. Now they do. On the half court. And I'm assuming every bad part of Ben Simmons' game is going to be here. And I still think it's going to be really, really good for Brooklyn. This is now a guy that you can match up with any guy's best player, and you're not really worried about his offensive production because he's playing with Kevin Durant and Kyrie. He doesn't need to be good offensively in the half court. That's like literally the only thing Brooklyn doesn't need is half court scoring. Ben Simmons doesn't need to do that. What he does need to do, rebound the ball well, push the ball in transition, get those playmaking opportunities that you do, that Ben Simmons does, and get those occasional transition dunks and transition plays. And clamp up defensively. That's it. We don't need you to be anybody else but another version of Draymond Green. So good for Ben Simmons. Then the next player is Seth Curry. And again, that's perfect. Joe Harris is looking like he's out for the year. Boom. Add another player who I personally think Seth Curry's a little bit better than Joe Harris. And I don't think a lot of people will disagree with me there. So I think that's a great pickup. And hey, he played pretty well in his first game last night. So boom, added another piece that's just a perfect championship piece that you needed for your basketball team. And then the next player they get is Andre Drummond. I'm a Lakers fan. I should hate Andre Drummond as much as anybody because of how that saga ended. But bro, I'm sorry, but you know what's the third and final thing Brooklyn needed to be a good basketball team? Size. They needed somebody who, if they're looking at a team like the Bucks in the playoffs, they can throw somebody out there. Or Embiid, or, like the three best teams in the East, whether it's Miami, Philadelphia, or Milwaukee, all have three dominant big men. Bam Adebayo maybe not so much, but they're still a big team. In the NBA, it's all about matchups. How do you match up against the other team? In the NBA, you need to be able to have a team that can shapeshift. That can play big, that can play small, that can play fast, that can play slow. You need teams like that. That's why the Lakers in 2019-2020 won the title. It's because we could go from playing super big ball in Houston to not playing any of our centers against Denver. And then winning the title with a little bit of a mix of that in the finals. So to me, everyone's saying Brooklyn isn't a championship contender right now. I disagree with that. I've been hating on Brooklyn for 2 years now because they didn't have any size. Joe Harris just got injured, and they didn't have any good defenders, maybe besides Bruce Brown. And now you have that. So for me, I think Brooklyn is so much better than they were when they first signed Kevin and Kyrie, right? I think this is a really good basketball team that could win the title. Now, I understand there's a lot of caveats with this team right now. With Kyrie, how's KD's health, whatever. I understand that there's some worry here. But I feel a lot better about this basketball team than I did when they initially all signed there. So yeah, I think this is maybe the only trade that you'll really ever see in the NBA where I think both teams come out of it looking good. And I won't go too much into the Philly drama because I kind of already a little bit made a video on it. But the whole thing is stupid to me how I'm watching Philly live streams today of the press conferences and Ben Simmons is like, yeah, my mental health is really bad. And they all are like, and just like laughing in his face. It's really weird to me, Philly fans. You all seem like really insensitive pricks. But hey, James Harden said that you're the best fans of the NBA, so who cares? That's just me though. I don't know. It feels weird to me that in the playoffs, you're literally in this man's DMs and sending death threats to him because he didn't shoot a layup, and now he. Anyways, my camera died, but yeah, the whole Ben Simmons saga, it feels like it was weirdly handled, and you should honestly just come out of this winners. You guys didn't get screwed over. You guys ended up being better from this scenario. So I don't understand why everyone's so mad, but whatever. It's not the point of this video. James Harden came out of this a winner. Ben Simmons came out of this a winner. And you know what? No, this is one more thing that I'll add to this whole saga. If the NBA is any bit interested in this fear of player empowerment, and are these players too powerful? Well, it would really help if you built a league that had a foundation of investing in players more than actual teams and coaching schemes and foundations, right? And then when these players that you complain about having too much power, when they sit and bitch and moan for 6 months, or let's say 2 weeks, and then you do exactly what they wanted, then they're going to keep doing it. So again, if you're this league that's so concerned about this player empowerment and players taking control of their own destiny, and it's hurting the league, and I don't even know which players on which team anymore because all these players are getting traded away. If you're so concerned about that, then maybe, just like maybe, don't do exactly what they want at every waking moment on any team with any player at any position, no matter what point in their contract. Maybe they'd stop knowing that they're going to be able to leave the team when they want to because they can. Oh, my God. These players, they're too powerful. James Harden, what? You're angry? Okay, Philly, what do you want? I don't know. The whole thing's weird. I'm done.